Welcome to GabTalks, where we provide tools, tips, and techniques to help your life and business be easier, better, and faster. Hello, everybody. How are you? This is GabTalks Success Tips from Experts. Welcome to our next episode. I am so excited. I am jumping out of my seat. I get to bring to you my good friend and personal mentor, Mr. Robert Butwin. Hey, Robert.
Hello there, and I'm glad to be here with you.
Absolutely. So you guys, as I said, Robert is my personal mentor. He is an expert. He knows his stuff very well. And I absolutely love that I get to have regular conversations with him and I get to interview him. You guys are going to learn so much today from Robert. So let's jump in with the first question. Robert, will you share with our audience all about your expertise?
Definitely. I'm an expert in two different things. Number one, as a networker, and the second thing, as a strategist. As a networker, I modeled myself after a 70-year friend of my mother. In fact, she actually introduced me to him last year, and I had a great conversation, sent me a bunch of his books. One of them has become my networking Bible, which is, and it's Harvey McKay, Dig Your Well Before You're Thirsty. Now, I'd like to add something to that. What you want to do is continually digging until you hit water. So as a networker, I focus on helping people become more effective in the networking, because you've all heard the saying, your net worth is in direct relationship to the value of your network. So, and as a strategist, one of the key things that people are dealing with today, how do I break through the noise and make real connections? My guess is your number one phone call is the same as mine. Scam likely. With social media selling our information, we're getting bombarded with marketers trying to pitch us. So I'm an expert, or as far as a networker, and as a strategist, helping you make real connections.
So I get to learn from you all the time, and I know your background and your story. Will you share that with our audience? Because I think they would be really interested in hearing from you about that.
Sure. My background came from a family business. We started the high school award cheerleading jacket business in the 1930s. Oldest son, third generation, always expected to run that business. The problem was too much family in the family business, and it was my family. So I came to the realization that I needed to figure out something else to do. And that was where I had a defining moment, and I pivoted and I came to the realization I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to have the freedom that an entrepreneur has. I wanted to figure out how I could create the kind of lifestyle that I knew that anybody and everybody could actually create for themselves. And that's where I ventured out to become an entrepreneur. I walked away from our family business September 7th, 1990. The reason why I remember that so well is that was a day I gained my freedom, and I never looked back.
And that led you to, in fact, become a keynote speaker and travel the world at least 3 times over, sharing your expertise on stage with thousands upon thousands of people, didn't it?
It did. And part of how that led to that, and it came across in what my defining moment was, coming across a cassette tape series by Wayne Dyer. And it was called No Limit Person. And let me give you the backstory there. See, I started to realize that the limits that existed in my life, I was responsible for them being there. And see, once you can take responsibility for what is, you can take it for the next level, what will be. But unfortunately, most people are in a state of denial. And I love the acronym denial. Don't even notice I am lying. They're lying to themselves by not taking responsibility for what is. And I started to, fill my mind with positive kinds of things. I started reaching out so that I could create the kind of success. So that was my defining moment, which is listening to a cassette tape series, for those of you that remember what a cassette tape series is.
I'm old enough to remember cassette tapes, but CDs and DVDs were my generation for sure. I don't think they even use CDs other than sometimes in the computer at this point. So yeah, Hello, hello, awesome listener. Thank you so much for joining us today at GabTalks Success Tips from Experts. We're going to take a short break and say thank you to our sponsors. It is through the generous support of these sponsors that we are able to bring to you these amazing experts that are sharing their best tips for your success. So please listen to what our sponsors have to say, and hopefully they're going to inspire you that you're going to click their links and go support them. Global Prosperity Academy, GPA, is a community of like-minded individuals that are heart-centered and mission-driven, focusing on high-level communication training, leadership development, and strategic community building. Take a look at the video in the link below and see how GPA is right for you.
This is Tony Stark-Polici, copywriter, marketing consultant, and author. And I have a question for you. If you could take $20 and turn it into 1,000 or 5,000 or 10,000 or 100,000, would you do it? Well, you can. And it's not through gambling. It's not investing in the stock market. It's by buying this book. That's right, my book. This was voted number 9 out of the top 100 best copywriting books ever written. And I wrote it for you, for business owners, to help you write better emails, better sales copy, better advertisement, to communicate better in all of your marketing and business communications. This book will change your business and your life. Try it. You're going to love it.
All right. So one of the things that you and I talk about is where we are today in our journey. And a lot of our audience is pivoting and changing careers. We have a certain segment of our audience that is younger. And as you know, I've too pivoted and changed in my career. So part of the reason that this entire interview series came about was this pivot and some of the advice that you gave me in the last 2 years. So I would like you to share your best single piece of advice for somebody who is just starting out, or if you were to talk to your younger self or just starting out in their career.
Here's the key in everything. It doesn't matter where you start in life or where you are now. The key is the direction you're headed and where you choose to end up. The point is, it's all about our choices. Obviously, you pivoted, I pivoted, and it's just becoming aware and recognizing the reality, and everything is the choices we make. So part of my mindset is, if others could do it, so could I, and I focused on creating the life I wanted to create for myself.
Yeah, I love that. If others can do it, so can I. So I would like to open it up to you to share some best tips and actionable advice that people can take away right now from this interview. And I know that, again, I have been the beneficiary of this. So I can tell you guys that are listening, stop what you're doing and listen to what Robert has to say now.
Super. You know, I keep asking myself one question: what can I say whenever I speak that will help other people? And I've come up with the ABCs to elevate and accelerate your success. Now, it boils down to 13 words, 3 strategies. So I'm going to give them to you quickly, the Cliff Note version of them. And I'm going to start with C's. And the reason I'm going to start with C's, that was the grade I got the most of when I went through high school and college. Now, obviously, I told you the backstory. You know, education is mandatory, but I always expected to run our family business. So the first one is, are they committed? Are they just interested in creating success, or are they serious about the success that they want to create? The second one is choices. It's easy when we have the right choices to understand, because we say, oh yeah, you know, I'm coming from a state of consciousness. What happens when you make the wrong choices? What was the lesson you're supposed to learn? You know, it's like, when I'm going to invest in this funnel, or if I'm going to invest in this coach or whatever that is, am I going to get the kind of ROI that I expect? The third one is communication. You've got internal and external communication. You know, it goes as simple as when people ask you, how are you doing? And normally a person will say, okay, fine. The vibrations you're programming yourself aren't the kind of results that you really want. External communications is when I'm communicating with a group of people or a one-on-one. Is it simple, profound messaging? The next one is canny, constant never-ending improvement. I realized when I listened to the Wayne Dyer cassette tape series, I listened to Jim Rohn, I listened to people like Les Brown. I ended up on stage with many of these people, but I realized I needed to make my life an ongoing learning experience. The next one is connections. Are you expanding your connections? You've heard the saying, your net worth is in direct relationship to the value of your network. What are you doing to expand your network? And more importantly, what are you doing to continually bring value to your network? It's like I've got close to 30,000 people on LinkedIn. I don't really have relationships with those people, but when I've got my vault, it's my way of continually feeding people information that will help them elevate and accelerate their success. The last one is collaboration. There's one B, which is beliefs. Jim Rohn probably said it the best. If people believe the promise, they'll pay the price. So that's the one belief. But how about the other side of belief? What beliefs are you holding on to that are holding you back? For example, Gabriella, your parents probably told you the same thing my parents. Don't talk to strangers. That was to protect you. Now I'm going to tell you, you can make a fortune turning strangers into friends. 6 different A's. Number 1, aware of what you want, aware of what your brand is, aware of the things that you need to do to get what you want ultimately is the first A. The second A is accept the changes you need to make. 5 simple words. If nothing changes, nothing changes. I remember when ultimately I had to change and have a calendar. In fact, you walked me through and helped me set it up. The CRM, the virtual assistant, you've helped me do all of that kind of stuff because I attracted the right people similar to you. I've got a mastermind team of people I'm working with. I love the acronym of team. Together, everybody achieves miracles. The next day is your affirmations or affirmations. The next A is authenticity. People today, I believe, can read through people a lot easier than ever before.
Yeah.
Are you congruent with what you say and what you do? That's one of the biggest things that I see people sabotage the results that they get. The next A is attitude. There's a direct relationship with your altitude and your attitude. My mentor originally told me, you need to have the attitude of gratitude. Be grateful for where you are as you're going through the process to create the success that you deserve. And the last A is action, constant and proper action. Now, the 3 strategies real quickly, give more and invite people with irresistible offers and always do risk reversal. Now, as far as giving more, I talked about the 13 words. Let me give you one extra word. Asking the right questions. Ask yourself in relationship to the things that you're doing, are you getting the results that you want? When you communicate with people, one of the key things to create relationships, find out about who they are by asking the right questions. The next strategy is systematize the process. Again, you're helping me go through this whole thing with different systems that we're setting up to make it easier for other people. And the last strategy ultimately is leveraging resources in multiple streams of income. And there you have it. Those are the key aspects.
That is phenomenal. And you have helped me implement a bunch of those. And yes, we work together, and I have shared with you and helped you with some technology things. We have brought some VAs and assistants with us that are younger, that have other skills that we don't have. So I'm going to throw something else in there that you and I talk about regularly as well. Do what you know how to do and find other people to do the things you don't know how to do, so that you create this support system around you and your business. And you and I talk about this all the time.
Right. And also staying in your state of genius,
Yes.
Do the things that you are really good at and find, as you said, attract the right people that can do the things you're not good at.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, my space of genius, I really, I knew what it was, but I didn't really tap into it. And that was a big thing, probably in the first 60 days of you and I knowing each other, that you pushed me to really, you knew that I knew what it was because we had talked about it, but I was suppressing it and I wasn't doing the ABCs. And you really pushed me to focus more on the state of genius. And I so much better for that. Are you ready to be a hero? On every episode of Gab Talks, we highlight an organization that is doing good in its own community. So now we'd like to take a moment to highlight the hero sponsor that brought today's organization to our attention.
Hello, world. This is Z, or you can call me Mr. Z. I am a web developer and I am also a consultant from Z World Webs. Today, I want to highlight the Spiro Foundation because this nonprofit organization is truly dedicated to arresting the spread of human trafficking. This includes prevention, education, recovery, and of course, technology. If you would like to learn more about the Spiro Foundation, please visit their website at www.spiro-foundation.org. And again, their website is www.spero-foundation.org, to which Spiro is Latin for I hope. Or you may scan their QR code. The link can be found in the show notes. So with that being said, my name is Z from Z World Webs, and let's develop a website Z World is waiting for. Thank you.
So look, Robert, I know how amazing you are, and I know now our audience knows how amazing you are. Will you let them know how they can contact you and how they can reach out to you, where you are on social media and your website?
Sure. The best way to find me is you can obviously go to Google my name. You can go to YouTube, do a search for me under my name, Robert Butwin. You know, my tagline that I always talk about is my name is Robert Butwin. What I really want you to remember with Robert, you do nothing but win. My email is butwin@gmail.com. And if nothing else, they can always ask you.
And you're super active in LinkedIn as well. So if someone wants to
Yes.
connect with you and send you a messenger message in LinkedIn, I know that you're very responsive there. So I also know, because we've worked on this together, you have a really awesome offer to share with our audience. Will you tell them about that?
Sure. And it goes back to one of the things that I focus on, how to continually bring value to your network. Because again, I'm moving fast. I want to find those people that are serious and committed. So I've created what I call the vault. And there's a lot of phenomenal information in there that they can, you'll be able to, on the link below, guide them to where they can get that. But it's got like a list of 50 different networking groups. It's got an interview from Jerry Foster, who is a branding evangelist. It's got another person that we work with, Sue Wilhite's got a really great interview with Jim Feldman. I'm going to be continually adding great information to the vault because, again, my whole thing, it boils down to 7 words. My book was Street Smart. I want people to live smart, enjoy life, and make a difference. This is the way that I can make the biggest difference by helping more entrepreneurs elevate and accelerate their success.
Awesome. So Robert, thank you so much for joining me today and letting me interview you. You guys, the links are down below in the show notes, in the description. Go click those links, go check out the vault, go find Robert in social media and look him up. Like he said, his tagline is, when you work with Robert, you do nothing but win. And I know that that is absolutely true from my own experience in working with Robert. So make sure you click the subscribe button. Don't forget to set your reminders so that you know when our next episode is published, and we will talk to you soon. Hey, thanks so much for watching. We hope you got value today. We want to give a huge shout out of gratitude to our contributors. Please make sure you click the subscribe button below, and don't forget to click the bell up above to get reminders when we add new content.